Hi, Allise. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good.
All right, so I'm doing this interview for Studio 23's Art Around the City Trail. I just have the three questions. Are you ready to start?
Yes, I am.
So first, what inspired you for your piece in this exhibit?
My piece that's going on the metal sign, Flight Response, was inspired by the fact that in my art, I like to make the external surroundings in my pieces, especially with my portraits, kind of reflect the internal state of the subject to tell a story. And the title Flight Response is kind of a play on the idea of fight or flight. And the girl has kind of chaos swirling around her head with the ravens darting everywhere, but her face remains stoic. And I meant it to communicate strength without the presence of aggression. And it kind of symbolized resilience. But it can really mean a lot of different things to different people, which is something I like to have in art.
All
I
right,
like everyone to be able to bring their own experiences to it.
yeah, that's very cool. Next, what is a typical day in your studio like, and like where do you like to work?
I have a home studio, which I really enjoy. But also my day job is at Creative 360 Studio and Gallery in Midland. And I run the art shop program there, which is an inclusive program that's open to everyone, but it's geared towards being comfortable for individuals with disabilities. So we have smaller class sizes and a lot more one-on-one attention. And our projects are more adaptable where you can do the lessons in a lot of different ways, depending on where you're at and what you're comfortable with. And so I create a lot of art at Creative 360 also in their studio for lesson plans. And it's always really fun to see how having to come up with lesson plans for art shop really gives me new ideas for my own art. And having to work with the supplies at 360 because we run entirely on donations. So having to be really creative and be like, what can I use to make something that you wouldn't normally use?
Mhm.
And in my home studio, I have kind of a sewing mixed media room on the main floor, but then I also have a full basement, which is nice. And so I use that for a lot of my bigger painting.
All right, yeah, that's very cool. And then I think our last question-ish is going to be what inspired you to work in your specific medium?
I love mixed media because you can use the material that's best suited to each separate element of the piece. And really, it opens me up, I feel, to be a lot more creative. I can incorporate different things like fabric and found objects that I've collected that have different significance or that I've been given by other people for kind of an added part of the story. And I also like that makes 2D art more tactile and adds a 3D element to it because I really love three-dimensional art as well, but I'm kind of experimenting with it, but I've never really gotten the hang of three-dimensional art. I'm definitely more of a 2D person, so I like that using mixed media lets me incorporate some different elements into it, so it's not just a flat artwork.
Yeah, that's very cool. And then I just have one last question I've been asking everyone. How long have you been working in art as like a whole, I guess?
For me, it's been pretty much since birth. I've always been interested in art. It's funny, my parents saved like a lot of my drawings. So they have drawings from when I was like 2 years old. It's really funny. So I've always been interested in art, and that's always just been my passion and my favorite thing to do. So I do feel really lucky that I'm able to actually have a job that I work in art.
That's very cool. But it was a pleasure talking to you about your art, and I'm excited to see it on the trail. So
Yep,
thank
thank you so
you.
much.
All right.